China is one of the biggest players in the apparel industry, right? Because you look at their processing and their machinery and the technology that they have. So a lot of companies from the US and other different places use China because of the labor, but also for the great products that they produce. So when I look at certain things like that, I'm like, okay, cool. There is so many parts to it, right? Because if you want a great shoe, like here in the United States, because there's so much different things that's going on, because that's why people outsource to different countries, because of the labor, right? And it's very inexpensive to make certain things. And when you have different things like that, it makes it valuable to the company because you're dealing with a great partnership with these companies. And most companies don't want to lose or purchase more than they have to, because now, as you see, during the pandemic, it taught us a very valuable lesson that e-commerce is not going nowhere and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And Jeff Bezos is running that space, hands down. And to learn from a guy like Jeff Bezos, it's like, okay, this man has built his company through books, started selling books, and he branched out to selling everything else. So when you're dealing with different entities in different spaces of the world and different countries that can give you a great product for very cheap labor, and it's very inexpensive, it brings a lot more value to the companies and also the relationships to the manufacturers, and the partnerships. So the main thing is, for myself, being the e-commerce brand, I don't have to worry about overhead or overstocking anything, right? When people come to my site, they order whatever products that they're going to order, and everything is cut and sold to me, right? So I don't have to worry about inventory, right? So when you're dealing with inventory, that's one of the main factors that people are more worried about today, because now you have to discount your clothing, and you don't want your clothes to go to a discounted, because now you're giving up more of your brand to discounts and you're losing more money on the back end. So I really figured that a lot of companies are really getting smarter to the point that they carry less inventory, because they don't want the major overhead of losing a lot of money on the back end as far as having a lot of inventory. So that's one of my main things that I figured that a lot of companies are looking to cut down on having less inventory. And most of the clothes that are discounted, they usually become in stockpiles and garbage. Because now that's a lot of waste that's been out to the ecom, as far as in the system goes, pretty much. So you know to be more detailed as far as how you proceed with your brand, and having certain things that factions better with the universe and what the world needs, because of the global warming. So people are becoming very smarter about the items that they're making and how many items that they're making, and make sure there's no super overhead of stock, so it doesn't go into the stockpiles, and they lose a lot of money, but also it's hurting the planet at the same time.